We've all been hearing it since 2021. It's a housing bubble, or the real estate market is going to crash. Stay tuned as we share some important market data-driven information along with questions buyers and sellers are asking today. Now keep in mind, this market report is specific to Orange County, California. So if that's where you're looking to live, you're in the right place. Hey everyone, it's Christopher and Brooks, again with Mar Marketing Group, your Orange County Realtors, with over 30 years of real estate experience. We make content on the real estate market and living in Orange County. So if this interests you, consider subscribing so you never miss an Orange County update. Astonishingly, 41% of Americans feel the housing market is going to crash in the next 12 months, according to a survey conducted by LendingTree. Even more revealing is that 74% believe the crash will be as bad or worse than the 2008 housing market collapse, otherwise known as the Great Recession. With so many convinced the crash is inevitable, does that mean the housing will once again collapse? Keep in mind the fundamental principle of supply and demand play a critical role. We'll break this down a little further in the video. We all recall watching the housing market take a pounding during the Great Recession. When equity vanished, many homeowners realized they could no longer afford the negative amortization loans they opted for. Keep in mind, a large majority of these buyers put little to zero down, which made it incredibly easy to walk away as the market deteriorated. After all, it was like paying rent on the property rather than qualifying for a fully amortized mortgage based on what one could truly afford. It soon became quite evident borrowers could no longer afford these homes when their payments adjusted to fully amortized payments, which resulted in foreclosures. As these loans became more scrutinized, lenders were forced to buy back these loans, which contributed significantly to the collapse of the subprime mortgage market. It was almost impossible not to know someone that was personally affected by these loans. You may remember the most infamous, the Ninja loan. This was no income, no job, no asset. They were the worst, and many of these loans were later found to involve fraud. These loans were made on both purchases and refinances. The reason I feel revisiting the Great Recession and some of the key dynamics is because today's financing is night and day. And it's understandable that whenever there is an economic slump or downturn, the general public immediately recalls the Great Recession and expects the housing market to tumble once again. Today's reality: a significant number of California homeowners enjoy comfortable equity positions and low fixed-rate mortgages, along with over a decade of stringent lending standards. And buyers are putting down significant down payments. Remember, there were a number of cash purchases since 2020. In addition, many homeowners have decided to pay their mortgages off. This doesn't mean that values can't pull back, but that's very, very different than a market collapse. Here are some very encouraging stats in California that were not present during the Great Recession of 2008. 89% of homeowners have fixed-rate mortgages of 5% or lower. 71% of homeowners have fixed-rate mortgages of 4% or lower. And 29% of homeowners have fixed-rate mortgages of 3% or lower. But here's something that may surprise you. 40% of homeowners own their homes free and clear. Yes, that's no mortgage at all. This information was provided by Stephen Thomas with ROH, who has a degree in quantitative economics and decision sciences. Now, Brooks is going to discuss supply and demand in the market a little further with you. Thank you.
Everyone expected a housing crash in 2018 when rates rose from 4% to 5%, but it never materialized. It did not crash after the initial lockdowns of COVID, yet so many were convinced otherwise. Once again, with mortgage rates skyrocketing higher, home values already in the decline, and a recession on the horizon, many Americans believe that the housing market is on the edge of a precipice, and home values are about to plummet. Even though so many feel a housing crash is imminent, and that it could be worse than the Great Recession, according to all the economic data, current trends, lending standards, and the health and strength of homeowners across the United States, There is no crash in sight. Not now, not in the next 6 months, and not in the foreseeable future. The number one reason why a crash will not occur is that there simply are not enough available homes to purchase. Today's inventory is at 3,182 homes. While there are 57% fewer homes last year, 1,363, the 3-year average prior to COVID, 2017 to 2019, it was at 4,988 homes, 57% more than today. The inventory has been stuck at anemic levels since the beginning of the pandemic. In comparing today's supply to the 2 years leading up to the Great Recession, 2006 and 2007, the difference is stunning. The inventory peak in 2006 was 16,006 homes, and it was 17,898 homes in 2007. The 2021 peak was 2,537, and in 2022, it was 4,069. In sharp contrast to today's inventory crisis, with the lack of homes available, there was an inventory glut that led up to the Great Recession. In 2006, when demand sank, the expected market time, the amount of time between hammering in the for sale sign and opening up escrow, which is based upon supply and demand, climbed to over 200 days. And in 2007, when demand dropped even further, the expected market time soared past 400 days. When housing is severely out of balance, values plunge. That's in sharp contrast to 2021, when the expected market time dropped to 20 days by the year's end, or in March, when it hit 19 days and is now at 84 days. While 84 days is much longer than the insane pace of earlier this year and all of 2021, it is a far cry from 2006 and 200 days, or 2007 and over 400 days. That's more than a year. Even though the market time is not that high, prices have adjusted due to mortgage rates doubling from the start of the year. Yet home values are not tumbling at the accelerated pace of 2007 and 2008, when home values sank by nearly 40%. That will not happen today because of a very limited inventory where homeowners are choosing not to list their homes. So far this year, through November, there have been 8,000 fewer sellers compared to the 3-year average prior to the pandemic, 21% less. There is no panic selling. Housing is not a commodity. Everyone needs a roof over their heads, someplace to call home. There is also an extreme lack of forced selling, homeowners that have to sell. During the Great Recession, over 10% of all outstanding mortgages were delinquent. Today's national delinquency rate is at its lowest level in decades. Here in Orange County, there are 12 foreclosures and short sales available to purchase today. In mid-December 2019, prior to COVID, there were 54, and in December 2007, there were 3,700 foreclosure or delinquent homes. To sum it up, even with sky-high mortgage rates and homes pulling back, housing is insulated from a housing crash. Today's housing stock is built on an extremely strong foundation with years of tight lending standards due to financing laws enacted after the Great Recession, strong credit scores, large down payments, and fixed rate mortgages, plenty of nested equity, and limited cash out refinances. There is no crash in sight because of the strength of the homeowner coupled with a very limited inventory of available homes to purchase today. Now, if you found this video informative, hit that like button as we create this content to help as many people as possible. If you know someone looking to move to Orange County, give it a share. And if you have any questions, drop a comment down below as we reply to all our comments. Or you can book a no obligation strategy call in the description below if you'd like to keep it more personal. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.